The Nuggets lead at 56-55. And it has been a good one. Nuggets trying to get back after last night's loss in Houston. And Charlotte trying to get back from a loss Friday night, where they were felled by 32 in Indiana. A team that has beaten Charlotte now 4 in a row. This goes to Ellis. Well, it was supposed to go to Ellis. And the Nuggets had only 4 turnovers in the first half, start the second half with a TO. 17 times the lead changed hands in that first half of play. Bogues and Gill with Johnson, Wingate, and Mourning. 9 seconds still to shoot. Partially deflected by Ellis. Ellis, even with the foul trouble, will not give an inch to Larry Johnson. Now Ellis whips it out to Williams. Marcus Liberty fires. That is off to Marcus. Liberty is now 0 for 3 from the field. As it got cranked up, he had 14 last night against Houston. Liberty. And Marcus Liberty putting the hand in the face of Bogues. It was not enough. The Hornets by 1. The 18th lead change in the game. Hornets looking for their 29th win against 24 losses. Franchise record for victories, 31. They achieved that last year. The Hornets have 30 games to go. Jackson, no. Johnson sweeps it down. And Williams, another former Hoya from a different generation.
Well, Muggsy Bogues always looking up the court. He sees Alonzo Mourning running. Reggie Williams saves a sure basket layup. The Nuggets not executing in their offense the way they should be. They got to come out a little bit more aggressive.
Ellis has to watch out for Bogues. Bogues is great at drawing fouls like that because guys are driving full force. You don't see him. All of a sudden he's there. And it's not, Walt, as if he may move in front of you. He's been there all the time. Right. They just don't look down that low. They're not used to doing that on the basket in an NBA basketball court.
Well, that time he was looking back for the ball and Muggsy just stepped in there. Chris Jackson maybe should have held on to it and let LaFonso Ellis post it up.
Wingate looking for his first hoop, and it's reeled in by Dikembe Mutombo, who has his 11th rebound in the game. Jackson all the way. That's a dozen now for Chris Jackson. Nuggets by 1. Wingate looking. Mutombo battling Mourning inside. Into the hands of Williams. Nuggets racing out 4 on 3. There's Bogues, but it's Ellis who is there and deposits it. The Nuggets now by 3 points. The Nuggets trailed by 7 with a couple of minutes to go in the first half. Then Robert Pack scored the last 8 points for Denver in the second quarter in 1:07. And the Nuggets streaked in front by 1. Johnson gets the step. Johnson goes down, and he gets the help from probably the strongest referee in the NBA, Jim Kinsey, who's the man who could match up one-on-one against Larry Johnson. And this is the first half that these two behemoths had, with former Hoya teammates slugging it out with one another. Mourning getting the edge in points, but Mutombo with rebounds and block shots. Monster first halves by both centers. And that goes off of, well, saved by Ellis. Doesn't matter who went off last. Robert Pack reinserted. Dennis are looking for the energy pack again. The steal by Bogues, and Pack hit him coming out. Dennis didn't like it, and quickly he is pulling Robert Pack. And let's follow Pack back. Dennis as Chris Jackson comes in. I thought Issel was upset, was going to say something, but instead he gives Robert Pack a low 5. Squirts in. And Dennis may want to put Pack right back in there.
Well, Chris Jackson got to the double team that time, but when he went back to get Muggsy Bogues, he went out too fast, and Muggsy just went right past him.
The Nuggets have won 10 straight at home before losing their last game to Seattle. Jackson flicks the wrist and rattles the rim.
That was great execution that time.
14 points now for Jackson. Mourning takes a good skip and a jump, and followed by an air ball. And the crowd lets him hear it.
Well, I think Alonzo knows he got away with a walk also, so he was surprised the ref didn't call it.
Gill got a piece of that one, and now here's Gill pushing out. Larry Johnson squares up. Swish. Larry Johnson, who shows that he could pull inside and he could hit the outside shot. Nuggets by 1. 7:50 left in the third quarter. Jackson wants to take Bogues. Ellis, the double team. And illegal defense is called. I think it's on Mourning. He was double teaming Reggie Williams inside. You can't double team a guy without the ball. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by your Colorado Lexus dealers. Test drive the new 1993 LS 400 at Cooney and Stevenson Lexus. Nuggets by 1. Reggie Williams with Gill following him. It's Gill guarding Williams, not Wingate. Still 8 on the shot clock. Mutombo turns for the hook. And Dikembe getting more and more proficient at the sky hook. Mourning takes it right back. This will be against Denver. It looked like it was on Mourning charging into Mutombo, but instead Dikembe gets the foul, and it's his third.
Well, Alonzo Mourning gets out there on the wing and run, and he sees Dikembe's back, takes a good angle, takes it to the hole.
They said Mutombo was moving, and that happened right after Mutombo burned Mourning. They each have 12 points in the game, but now Mourning will try to do something about that. Mutombo wondering why the foul was called. Dan Issel quickly came off the bench and told Mutombo to cool it. The Nuggets with Mutombo and Ellis, their power inside, and they can't lose either one of them against the strength of Mourning and Larry Johnson. Let's check in with Drew Goodman right under that basket.
All right, Al, you were mentioning Dikembe Mutombo. See, his shoes here, size 21, they don't come in a normal bag. They have to, a box. They don't make boxes that big. They come in a bag. You can do grocery shopping in this, and then you can pull out Chris Jackson's shoes from inside Dikembe's shoes. 21 and size 11, ordinary folks.
I wish we had more time, because then you could pull Drew's shoe out of Chris Jackson's shoe.
Exactly.
Reggie Williams pushes it in. 66-63. The Nuggets by 3, but back the other way. And now Williams wants it. Racehorse basketball. And the foul. Kendall Gill gets his first personal foul. And these two teams get it going. And Bill Hanslick helping out. A technical foul has been called on the Charlotte Hornets. I believe it is on head coach Alan Bristow. And Chris Jackson will get a shot. Muggsy Bogues also chipping in. Nuggets are leading by 1. Jackson, a perfect 5 of 5 from the foul line. A grim face, Alan Bristow, who is right now battling for position in the Eastern Conference in the playoffs. Charlotte right now is in the 5th spot of 8. A game and a half behind New Jersey for that 4th spot and home court advantage in the first round. Boston winning tonight has moved into a tie with Charlotte. Reggie Williams was fouled on the last play by Kendall Gill, so the Nuggets could come out with a 3-point play from the foul line. And they do. 15 now for Reggie Williams, 15 for Chris Jackson. Mutombo with 12, Stith off the bench with 10. Williams got his hand on that one. He leads the Nuggets in steals. Bogues from downtown won't take it. He's at 6 from inside. And Williams takes a look. They call traveling. They say he dribbled the ball once, came to the stop, and dribbled again. Really a discontinue on the dribble by Reggie Williams. Play so hot and hectic, he kind of forgot that he took it originally on the dribble.
I can see how Dan Issel wants his team to emulate the Charlotte Hornets passing game, because it looks really pretty to see those guys move the ball. Nobody's falling. Everybody's playing unselfish.
Muggsy getting the shot, and he's hitting it. He is 5 for 10 from the field. You know, Charlotte Hornets last year were 12 and 33 in the first part of the season. Then they got that passing game down and went 19 and 18 the rest of the way. They knew they were, from that point, a 500 club.
Right.
Gill will be called for the foul. Now the Nuggets are basically a year after the Hornets are putting in the passing game, and it's essentially the same. You know, the Nuggets had that 14-game losing streak, but since that time, they have played 25 games, and they were 14 and 11. They are maintaining, sustaining over that 500 mark, and they know they are essentially a 500 club from here on out. Jackson over Mourning, and doesn't completely get it over him. Here is Muggsy. The basket it goes. A delay of the game.
Yeah. Kendall Gill just took the ball and threw it and hit Mutombo. They call it delay of game warning.
Crowd wanted the technical.
Yes.
And they're probably right. When Reggie Williams committed that violation, the Nuggets are up by 4, looking to take a 6-point lead, which would have been their biggest in the game. But now it's all tied at 69. 5.5 to go in this third quarter. Stiff is checked in for the Nuggets. A power move by Mutombo, and a foul, but it's on to Kembe. And that is a killer. Instead of the Nuggets taking a 2-point lead, and the foul situation between Mutombo and Mourning tied up at 3 apiece.
Well, initially Dikembe makes a good move, but when you get that left arm out like that, they're going to call offensive foul every time.
Mutombo gets his 4th foul, and he is out of the game. So now it's Hastings in there to rough it up with Mourning. Johnson, Ellis, remember, stayed clean with those 3 fouls. Wingate darts in the lane and loses. But the official, Mike Mathis, says it's deflected by a Nugget. Alan Bristow's all excited. Should we call a point deficit into a 2-point lead? Jackson and Stiff, Hastings, Ellis, and Williams, the 5 on the floor for Denver. Ooh, there's a whistle. Scott Hastings, Ellis didn't hear the whistle, continued the pass. It is against Denver. I didn't catch it. I think it's a foul on Hastings, yes.
Yeah, I think it was the offensive foul on Scott Hastings on the pick.
Hastings upset with that foul, and now he and Mourning, this could escalate very quickly. Mourning has a hot temper, short fuse, although he was thrown out of the last game for punching Rick Smith. And he takes it out on Hastings. 16 points now for Alonzo Mourning. And the Hornets have scored 8 points in a row. Hastings trying to draw Mourning away from the hoop. 12 seconds for the Nuggets to shoot. Mutombo now on the bench with 4 personal fouls. Jackson, jumper, got it. 17 now for Chris Jackson to lead the way. Bogsy comes down. And back the other way is Williams. And the foul. David Wingate saddling Reggie Williams, and Reggie Williams will try to get 2 from the foul line.
That was a great 2-man fast break. Reggie gives it up to Chris. Chris gives it right back to Reggie, takes it to the hole, and gets the foul there. Good team basketball.
Reggie Williams led the Nuggets last night in Houston with 24 points. He played 40 minutes in the ball game. He's now 4 for 4 from the foul line tonight. He hit all 6 of his foul shots last night. Hastings trying to get position. Mourning was ready to strike back, but then remembered last game when he was thrown out for a punch. I thought there was a possibility he might be suspended for a game. We might not see him tonight. He gets him back, and he gets the foul. So Scott Hastings doing his job, just trying to rile up the rookie. And Mourning gets his first or his 3rd personal foul.
Well, Scott's very smart. He knows the officials are going to be watching that closely because they don't want a fight or anything to break out.
Check that. They say it's 2nd on Mourning. Oh! Upstairs goes Reggie Williams. And the Nuggets have soared in front.
Reggie Williams that was a beautiful play there. He dunked that one so fast. Alonzo Mourning didn't even have time to jump.
Probably still thinking about Scott Hastings. Now inside there is traffic. This foul goes against Denver. Robert Pack gets his second personal foul. Nuggets hoping that Pack also could help energize things. Reggie Williams tonight rising to the occasion.
Well, those type of plays, you can do that. If you keep the floor spread, you can have plays like that out.
Put down by Hastings. Now it's Pack racing out ahead to Ellis. Flying and no foul. But it's off of Johnson out of bounds. And the Nuggets fans and Dan Issel wondering why at the other end that's called a foul. Just the anticipation call. And there's the foul.
There's the foul.
So the rookie Ellis not given the benefit of the doubt. Stith stops, pops, and he's off the mark. Rising for the rebound, his 13th of the game, Larry Johnson. Nuggets by 2. It is a playoff atmosphere as the Nuggets and the Hornets get together. He's been close throughout. Gill, nice fake. Hits.
Yes, very great fake that time to get away from Reggie Williams.
Mourning is getting a rest by Alan Briscoe. Mike Kaminsky is checked in. Tied at 75. 2.5 to go in the third quarter. Al Albert along with Walt Davis and Goodman at the Nicholas Arena. Williams off balance. Overloads. Inside Williams. Oh, he's called for traveling. Larry Johnson walks away with a little bit of a smirk on his face. I think Reggie just got hit with a tee.
Yes.
And it is really raining on the Nuggets.
Robert Pack gets a great offensive rebound, passing into Reggie. I thought that was a great move.
Boy, oh boy. Now Alan Briscoe is on the floor complaining to Mike Mathis. This one getting out of control. So on one sequence, the referees losing sight of 2 plays. And the fans here in Denver not happy about it. Kendall Gill hits the technical. And Dan Issel, that is a slow burn developing. The Hornets get the lead by 1. Number 25, rookie Tony Bennett, giving Muggsy Bogues a rest. Gill, shadowed by Stith. Ellis has gone the whole third quarter without picking up his 4th foul. They moved it down. And this foul against the Nuggets. It's against Robert Pack. The 3rd foul on Pack, all here in this 3rd quarter. Or check that. That's 2 on Robert Pack. Gotta check out these fouls. So Wingate has 1 field goal tonight. Tonight's game is being brought to you in part by your Colorado Lexus dealers. Test drive the new 1993 LS400 at Cooney and Stevenson Lexus. Wingate nails the 2 foul shots. And the Hornets by 3. We continue our seesaw ride. Inside 2 minutes left in the 3rd. Pack rises. Nice pass by Scott Hastings. And Pack becomes the 5th Nugget in double figures. He has 10 points. Gill takes it inside. Swings a nice pass to Wingate. And with a violation. And the crowd will applaud the referees. Alan Briscoe doesn't. I guess no coach is happy.
Last time down, the Nuggets had the passing game going, had the floor spread up. Scott Hastings makes a great pass to Robert Pack for a layup.
Nuggets a chance to move right in front again. Hastings sets, does not shoot. Alfonso Ellis, feet away. He is way off the mark. So Charlotte holds on to the lead and holds on to the ball. Johnson. Races it down into the hands of Pack with 1 minute left in the 3rd. Stith fires. Got it. Denver by 1. Brian Stith with 12 points, and that is the 23rd lead change in the game. Kendall Gill with the fakes. Double team. Jaminski open. Off the glass. 6 points for Mike Jaminski. The Hornets now by 1. Pack sits right up there. Nuggets thought they had the lead again. Hastings 3-on-1 with Jaminski back. Pack gets it over to Ellis. Bang! A titanic struggle at McNichols Arena. Nuggets now own the lead. Charlotte owns the ball for the last shot in the third. Bennett off the screen with a little lefty. Nuggets have time, 6 seconds. Robert Pack tries to beat the clock. Pack is called for the foul. Nuggets can't buy a break.
Robert Pack's just going to try to take this ball to the hole. And I don't think Tony Bennett had position that time. He was backpedaling. That's a pretty tough call.
2 seconds left. Bennett gets it into the hands of Curry. Dangerous from anywhere. That ends the third period of play. Derry, number 2 of Alex English. And then Thursday, Portland is in town. And you just see how close the score is period by period. Kendall Gill starts the Hornets off, and he puts them in front, and that's the 26th lead change of this evening. Smith 27. Brian Smith attacks the hoop, and Smith gets back.
Well, that was just a great offensive play. Just a roll off of a pick, and Robert Pack hits Brian Stiff. He saw a little bit of daylight, took it right to the hole for a dunk.
And the power of Brian Stiff saying nobody will deny me on that drive. Still Hastings out there against Mourning, and Mourning takes it inside. 18 points now for Alonzo Mourning. Hastings on the floor with Mutombo at the same time. Dikembe with the 4 fouls. He'll be guarding Jaminski. Back no. Run down by Mutombo. Jackson is wide open for 3. The trigger. Yes! Downtown for Chris Jackson. And he now has 20 points. The Nuggets by 2. Upstairs goes Brian Stiff. There's Chris Jackson racing it out. Jackson has some room. Crowd wants him to shoot. He takes it inside for the finger roll. And a beauty by Chris Jackson. 22 points for Jackson. And the Hornets have called a timeout. The fans rising at McNichols Arena as the Nuggets were in front to start the fourth quarter. Swiftly for 5 points in 30 seconds. All off the fingertips of Jackson. A 3-pointer and then a fingertip drive. And the Nuggets now lead 8-4. Ripped down by Dikembe Mutombo. His 11th, check that, 14th rebound of the evening. Robert Pack with Jackson in the lineup. So Alan Bristow has his 2 small guards. Rhodes and Bennett. He is on fire.
Well, Chris Jackson does a much better job. He's just turning and shooting, not putting the ball down where Muggsy Bogues can use his hand quickness.
Stiff comes out of the crowd. Looking for Robert Pack. They should be looking for Chris Jackson. The Nuggets by 6. This is their biggest lead in the game. There's Jackson off the screen. Gets nothing. And he saves the dribble. Nuggets are down to 7 seconds to shoot. Hastings. Mourning with 4 seconds. On the shot clock. Dikembe Mutombo finds Scott Hastings. And Dan Issel may have discovered his new Twin Towers. Tony Bennett from deep in the corner. And that's a 2-point shot for Bennett. 82-86 Nuggets. A rejection by Hastings. And he is fouled. Scott Hastings putting together a highlight reel.
Robert Pack is just going to keep the tempo upbeat. Alonzo Mourning gets a good block, but Scott Hastings, all those offensive rebounds are there when your man leaves to go blocks a shot. You should always go to the offensive board then.
Scott Hastings, his high this year is 10 points, and he is looking for his 7th tonight, and he gets it. 85-86, the Nuggets have busted it open by 9. 9 minutes still to go. Johnson thwarted by Mutombo. Bennett, Mourning, it to Hastings. Hastings with the shoulder. Mutombo helps out, but Scott Hastings will get his 3rd foul. If Hastings comes out now for Ellis, he will hear it from the crowd. Alfonso coming in, and Scott Hastings goes out. And he is hurt in his 11-year career. Although Scott will know better if that's not true. Certainly as big as hand he's hurt in 2 years with Denver, and well-deserved. Great effort by Scott Hastings. That's on Mutombo.
Yeah, that was a tough call that time. Alonzo had lost the ball too, and
his 5th foul, so Hastings will not have a chance to save her on the bench. Oh, and another foul is called on Denver. The 3rd on Brian Stith. Denver just got things in motion,
yes,
especially with Mutombo out there, so Mutombo has to leave. Hastings steps in. 5th foul on Mutombo is 12 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 block shots, so it goes right into Mourning. Jumps into Hastings. The crowd is starting to go crazy.
Well, Alonzo Mourning's just posting up and trying to get that good position. And he's just going to take it baseline. Scott just stands there. That should be just a no call.
If anything, it was a Mourning with the initial bump in on Scott Hastings. So Mourning will be the gift of a couple of foul shots. Check in with Drew right under that basket. Drew?
Well, Dan called it in the last timeout. He said, guys, we're not going to get any break from the officials. We have to do it ourselves. Let's make this lead at 4 a couple of moments ago up to 10. He's almost done that. The other key, he said, our 2 little guys got to run up and down the floor. Pack and Jackson have done that. And he pointed to Brian Stith. He said, you have to help us out on the boards. And Stith also has done that.
Nuggets hold on by 8. They can now make it that 10-point lead. Jackson for 2. And back the other way with Jackson on the floor. He may be hurt. Here comes Bennett the other way. Johnny Newman. And Jackson is fobbling. It does not look good. 3-second violation is called. Chris Jackson, who is falling away. It could be an ankle. It could be a knee. And Alan Bristow is helping the Nuggets out by calling a timeout. And it gives Denver a chance to get Jackson off the floor, and he has to be helped off. Down on the foot of Tony Bennett. Jackson, who had scored 7 straight points to give the Nuggets this cushion. He's for 3. Down goes Reggie Williams for the 24th time this year. And the Nuggets now their biggest lead of 11. Williams is 22. Jackson back in the locker room is 23 points. Almost went in. Foul number 3 on Reggie Williams. Kendall Gill is back in. Tony Bennett goes out. So the Nuggets now with Pack and Stith in the backcourt. Hastings in the middle for Ellis and Williams. Dan Issel with some band-aids in this one down the stretch. Mutombo on the bench with the 5 personal fouls, and Chris Jackson back in the locker room being attended to by the Nuggets training staff. Johnny Newman, his first 2 points of the game. He averages 13 points per. 98-89 in favor of the Nuggets. Pack pushed by Bogues, no foul. Now the whistle. And I think the Nuggets would prefer that one on Alonzo Mourning, although that is only his 3rd.
Well, Robert Pack is going to be very aggressive. I don't care if it's Muggsy Bogues or anybody else that's guarding him. And he gets to the hole that time and picks up a foul.
You get the idea that Muggsy Bogues isn't going to bother Pack as much as he had to bother Jackson until tonight's game. Robert Pack, there's so many the Nuggets standing out. Jackson that spurt. Reggie Williams threw out. Scott Hastings doing a great job here in the second half. And Robert Pack, who scored the last 8 points for the Nuggets in the second quarter to bring them back from a 7-point deficit. He did it in 1 minute and 7 seconds. 12 points tonight for Pack. Newman's stumbling in traffic, pulls down the lane. And a whistle and another foul on all the Nuggets holding their hands up and saying, "Who, me?" And the Denver Nuggets are really starting to sizzle. Dan Issel yelling to Pack to cool it. Doesn't want to get any more trouble. Let's see who the foul's called on. It's got to be called on Hastings.
Yes.
So Hastings has another personal foul, and that is his fifth. What appears to be one-sided to these Nugget fans, to the officiating here on their home floor. 100-91. The Nuggets continue to stay in front, but both of their centers now playing Russian roulette. 5 personal fouls on Hastings and Mutombo. Ellis, fade away. Oh, Hastings was pushed from behind by Newman. They didn't catch that one. Here's Smith, wide open. We'll see the foul there. This is starting to get absurd. Back at the other end, Larry Johnson is hurt, but a quite obvious push by Johnny Newman on the rebound, and 3 officials missed it. And any kind of contact on this end of the floor, and the whistles too. Talking about a veteran crew here. A timeout called with 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. That was the 4th personal foul on Brian Stiff. I don't think either coach is pleased with the officiating. Alan Bristow having some brushes. Well, if Larry Johnson has any complaints, it's about his own teammate, the reckless Alonzo Mourning. And great news for the Nuggets. Not only is Chris Jackson returned to the bench, he is returning to the floor. So Chris just apparently a minor twist, and he is going to be back on. Johnny Newman comes up short at the foul line.
Well, usually what happens in that situation, if you can, Private Chris went back in the locker room, got it retaped again, and you want to keep it warm, because once it gets cold and stiffens up, it's going to be pretty sore tomorrow.
One more shot for Newman. We're down to 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and he misses them both, but Mourning breaks in. And it's another foul. This one is on LaFonso Ellis. Nuggets are feeling as if the Hornets may be being protected here. "25 personal fouls have been called on the Nuggets, 16 against Charlotte." I'm not saying that there's got to be the same amount of fouls on each team every game. It just doesn't happen that way. Now Dan Issel's going to have a sneak a word with Bennett Salvatore. Dan has really held himself in. Hanslick and T.R. Dunn, they're saying nothing.
Right. Well, I think a lot of times the players, the officials get a little tired of players talking, and they hold grudges just like everyone else. So you got to not focus on the officials.
Run down by the Nuggets. 20 points now for Alonzo Mourning, his 11 rebounds. Mutombo's 12 points, 14 boards, but right now Dikembe watching from the bench. Flick of the wrist. Reggie Williams is scorching. 24 points now for Williams, hitting all the big shots. The Nuggets with a 10-point cushion. 6.5 left. And this, one of the rare calls against the Hornets in the second half, and the crowd
loves it,
appreciates it. It's Pack and Jackson in the backcourt. Hastings and Ellis and Williams up front. Johnny Newman talking to Pack. Williams smothered here by Gill. 10 seconds to shoot. Jackson, will he test it out? Yes, he does. Banks too hard. And it's Bogues who creeps inside to get it. Johnny Newman. 3-point line. Ellis Ellis coming from behind, and that's another foul on Ellis. And it's just the quickness of some of the fouls on this end of the floor. Ellis trying to go from behind Alonzo Mourning. So the clock stops with 6:08 left. And Mourning will have a couple of shots. So it's Ellis, Mutombo, and Hastings. The Nuggets big three up front, each with 5 personal fouls. That was the first meeting for Mourning. And he's darn near that total here tonight. 21 points, 11 rebounds. We don't have the official blocks for Mourning. But after 3 periods, he had 4. And what a player. You know, Alan Bristow had a little bit of a sigh of relief when they didn't get the first pick this year. With Shaquille O'Neal, surely he would have taken him, but Mourning certainly fits in with the Larry Johnson. You're not talking about a one-star type of a team, and with the passing game, Bristow wants several stars on his team. Ellis is stripped, and he's called for the travel. And the fans here saying now at the other end of the court, that would have definitely been the foul on the Nugget.
Well, the officials, the calls aren't being very consistent with the play of the game. The players are going to have to adjust to it.
Nuggets were waiting for a whistle. And again waiting for a whistle. And they didn't hear it. So the Nuggets get physical. Williams behind the back shoves his former high school teammate. Jackson wide open. Jumper. Got it. And with all the troubles, as far as officiating is concerned, the Nuggets maintain the 10-point lead. Hanging tough with 5.5 minutes to go. You know, all year long we haven't really talked about the officials gotten into it. This is just one of the games where it seems to be standing out. Kendall Gilno ripped down by Scott Hastings. Robert Pack plays it up to Williams. Ellis the follow. The Nuggets have their biggest lead. They get a standing O from the sold-out crowd. The Charlotte Hornets call a timeout. The Denver Nuggets on fire. Mutombo had made the first slam. Craig would have won a couple of tickets and a pair of Budweiser Ski Train tickets as his prize. The Denver Nuggets with a very impressive showing here tonight, looking for number 11 of 12 on their home floor. Coming back from last night's impressive showing, although in defeat in Houston. 5 minutes, 4 seconds left in the game. Charlotte Hornets in their second of a 6-game road trip that started with a 32-point loss in Indiana on Friday. The Hornets 4 games over 500. Overplaying is Hastings, and it's off of Mourning and out of bounds, and Hastings is pumped.
Scott's into the game now. He's all psyched up.
And Scott Hastings very much in the running for player of the game, for the inspiration, not to mention the 7 points, doing a job against Mourning. Chris Jackson also certainly in the running. He dishes it off. Reggie Williams had no room. 8 seconds to shoot. Here's Hastings, makes the fake on Mourning, and another one. Oh, he wanted that badly. Great fakes. Those Chris Jackson fakes by Scott Hastings. A travel.
Got a charge. Scott Hastings draws a charge.
4 fouls on Alonzo Mourning.
Well, Scott didn't go for that fake. Alonzo tried to give a little pump fake to go up for the shot.
Yeah, you know,
good position.
And anybody's guess. Earlier in the game, that would have been a foul on Hastings.
Yes.
I think, Walt, you nailed it on the head. And the problem has just been the inconsistency. Last time down, Charlotte banging inside.
Right.
And the Nuggets banging on them, and there no fouls were called. Jackson runs the basket. Down to 4:10 left. Nuggets by 12. Mourning on the run. 24 points now for Alonzo Mourning, who leads the way for Charlotte. Larry Johnson with 18 has been unheard from in this fourth quarter. He hasn't scored in the fourth. So Ellis now will take it to Johnson. Williams flicks the wrist off the mark. Nuggets getting cold. Charlotte feels they have to score here. It is Gill on the run. And both Mutombo and Hastings, if it's Hastings, that will mean that is his 6th. And Mutombo will replace him. And Hastings gets a standing ovation. The foul is not on Hastings.
Well, right now,
they changed it to Reggie Williams, but Hastings does get the ref.
Al, right now the Nuggets got to be careful. They got this lead by being very aggressive. They don't want to slow down yet. There's still almost 4 minutes to go. They got to stay aggressive.
Too much time.
Yes.
If you're Dan Issel. Dan Issel and Drew Goodman after the show will talk all about this, which has really been one of the thrilling games of the season. On the Dan Issel Show, we'll follow the ball game right here on Prime Sports Network. Nuggets now hanging to the 8-point lead. It was 12 moments ago. 3.5 left. Williams checks the clock. Now 9 seconds to shoot. Mutombo has been burying the hook. 4 seconds to shoot. Stiff and a strip. Oh, and there's the foul. And yes, the tide has turned as far as the calls are concerned. Curry just reaching in, and now it's Alan Bristow's problem. He has some words now with the referees. Talking to Jim Kinsey right next to him. Nuggets get a real break there. Reset of the clock to 24 seconds. Allen, what is this? It's against Denver. They call the wraparound on Chris Jackson. So Charlotte gets the ball back. Now a chance to slice it to 6. This game is not over. Mutombo and Mourning inside. Oh, and a foul away from the ball on Mutombo, and he's fouled out. Dan Issel will call a timeout. He's got to regroup here. And that was away from the ball. So Dan Issel has called a full timeout. Mourning putting up the monster numbers, as usual for a rookie. Scott Hastings is back on the floor with his 5 fouls. Mutombo is fouled out. Hastings and Ellis have 5 apiece. Williams and Stith each with 4. Mourning the only Hornet in foul trouble with 4. He's 7 of 9 from the foul line. Make it 7 of 10. 2 big misses by Alonzo Mourning, giving the Nuggets a little more breathing room. So instead of the Hornets getting it down to 6, Nuggets here have a chance to get the lead back up to 10. Williams is looking for Jackson. Shot clock down to 10. Jackson gets in the way. And here are the Hornets again. Curry for 3. Got it. Del Curry from downtown. The always dangerous. And this is a 5-point game. With 2.5 minutes to go, the Nuggets desperately need a basket here. And their offense has become a half-court offense and has not been clicking. Pulling into Steph, rejected, and taken off by Charlotte. They're on the run again. Muggsy Bogues, Curry, he goes and misses. Big rebound here. Jackson for the Nuggets. Nuggets want to, right now, Williams racing in, and it's blocked again. I think Dennis wanted him to pull it back. Oh, there's a travel by Curry. And Alan Bristow, perhaps seeing his dreams of tonight shattered. 1:59 left. The Nuggets haven't scored in a while. 7 straight points for the Hornets. Chris Jackson now showing some patience, bringing it over slowly. Stiff. Ellis. Jackson comes around, hooks the wrist, way off the mark. And Gill with the ball. 1:40 to go. Kendall Gill. Inside it goes to Johnson, who barrels in and missed. Hastings grabs the ball. That went halfway in and came out again. Well, maybe somebody up there does like the Denver Nuggets. Nuggets not scoring, but as long as Charlotte doesn't, they're holding the lead. Backdoor Stiff. He's got it. The 2 rookies team up for a huge basket. Ellis to Stiff with 16 points. Bogues over Ellis. And Williams tries to go over Johnson. Does he save it? No. 108-101. Nuggets hanging by 7 with 1:06 and counting. And I don't know if it's me, but it appears that even the Hornets' intensity coming down. I don't know if they're tired.
Well, Al, I think so. I really do. I think this altitude really gets to the team, usually the third, fourth quarter.
Last couple of times down, needed the shot, needed the ball. Didn't get it. Short. And the Nuggets now, I think this just becomes a game of attrition. 37 seconds left. Charlotte just kind of running out of time for their comeback.
Yes.
They have certainly had their opportunities in this last minute to get back in this game.
And when you see a team that make the little mistakes like that, Larry Johnson has a short little shot like that, usually you can attribute that to them being tired. And I think the altitude has affected them.
The Nuggets led 106-94 with 5 minutes left. Nuggets have scored just 2 points in the last 4.5, but they've held on. And Larry Johnson is gone. The white flag has been waved, and the Nuggets will just dribble out the clock and really come back big after last night's game in Houston, giving the Rockets some trouble, something that nobody's been able to do of late. Jackson.
Well, Chris has had him all turned around that time, and I think the Nuggets are doing a good job. They haven't done well in these back-to-back games on the second game.
And they staved off a real physical Charlotte Hornet club. Hornets had won 9 of their last 13. Brian Stiff, big night, 16 points. 5 Nuggets in double figures. And the crowd will sell out here, 17,022. Watch the young Nuggets withstand the young Hornets and even the series with Alan Bristow and Bill Hanslick and T.R. Dunn.